Now, we have just gotten to that place in the course of our news bulletin that we like to call Engine Behind the Power. And this segment, just for those of you who are joining us for the first time, it is a segment in which we host significant personalities in our society. And we seek to understand what is it that motivates them, what is it that drives them, what is it that makes them who they are. Put it quite simply, what is the engine behind their power? And this evening we have a gentleman who's the word unique is used to describe him many times, from his dressing to his manner to his impact on society and to the number of things he's involved with. Surely unique indeed he is. I'm talking about Dr. David Ole Sankok. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
First of all, this is I'm sure you get this a lot.
Yeah.
The suits.
Yes.
Tell me about them.
You know, some people say that I have one suit.
Right.
And I agree with them because sababu uchumi ni mbaya. So sometimes you may survive with one suit. And since I'm from a very poor background,
right.
So surviving on one suit
right.
is even another advantage because there was a time that I could not even afford. You know, my wife, the first outing I took her
yes.
was an outing to Uhuru Park, and I bought her an ice cream of 2 shillings.
Really?
Yeah, because that was what I could afford that time.
Right.
So if they claim that I have one suit, maybe I wash at night and iron it early in the morning.
Right.
But anyway, this suit have,
what does it mean?
It is green. Green because I've seen the effect of destruction of the environment. So I wanted to encourage everybody to plant trees. So even my businesses, my staff were green. So that whenever they interact with people and they ask such questions, then we get an opportunity to educate our fellow citizen of Kenya on the importance of conserving the environment. Just like what the late Wangare Maathai used to say, that nature is unforgiving. You tamper with it, it will hit you with an equivalent of even greater force. And in Narok, I've witnessed that one because whenever there is rains, we get floods. After floods, we have dry spells that have finished our livestock and so on. So first of all, it is to send that message that we should actually conserve our environment. Kenya should go back to the glory days when it was green all over, when there was rains all over. And green can only come with rains.
So that's what it means.
And then again, it have the colors of the flag.
Right.
You know, you people of the media, it is some of you, I don't know where you went wrong.
Right.
When, you know, because long time ago, we used to hear these patriotic songs.
Right.
The ones you are playing today during Moi Day.
Yes.
Tushangilie Kenya taifa letu, and something like that. You know, it is used to bond Kenyans together, to bring people, Kenyans together, to love their own country. But you guys have just forgotten what you play on our TV station or our radios. These songs that we no longer even hear using our ears. We hear from the stomach. So for me, I decided, let me put on the Kenyan flag. So wherever I go, or whoever I meet, at least they see that patriotism in me. Indeed. We need Kenyans to be patriotic.
Indeed.
And to love their country.
As a matter of fact, from next week, Kenyans, you should be expecting me to show up in the studio with a suit similar to this one. But now, Mheshimiwa, one of the most defining factors about you, apart from your powers of speech and oratory, and your outfit, and your passion for the things that you're involved in, is the fact that you are disabled.
Yes.
But you're doing things on such a scale that is not expected of someone who has gone through that. Let us go back to the beginning. Back to the beginning. I would like to imagine it should be in 1988?
Yes, 1989 when I got the disability.
89.
Yes.
Tell us about that. How were you before? Where were you born? What kind of young man were you?
You know, I was born at a village called London in Melili.
Right.
Just to peasant farmers, the Maasai farmers. Yeah?
Right.
And as a Maasai, my ambition, of course, automatic, was to graduate into a Moran after circumcision and to raid other tribes, especially the Kikuus who border us in Naivasha, so that we can accumulate wealth, because that is now the idea of a typical Maasai. And
by
that
the
was
way-
my idea.
By the way, just before you continue, on the screen, Kenyans, you can see those are some of the images. We call them TBTs, right? Throwbacks. That over there on the screen is Honorable Ole Sankok when he was a Moran. We actually see you in the full regalia with the cows and everything.
Yes, you know, at that time,
Right.
my ambition was actually to be a Moran. And then I did not even want to go to school. Of course, I was not, my parents did not want to take me to school. But then the chief came and said that each family must produce one person to go to school.
Right.
So my father said...
And that was an instruction from President Moi.
Yes, President Moi.
Right.
So my father said, hii kijana ni mtukutu. Take him to school.
Right.
Yes, and in fact, he gave instruction. If in case you even kill him, I'll excuse you because I know him. So don't worry. Yes,
it was a
my own
punishment.
father. Yes, to go to school.
It was a punishment.
So when I went to school, it was just a matter of passing time.
Right.
So that after circumcision, then I go to Moranism and read and make sure that I have enough cows. In
Right.
fact, there were families, or Kikuyu families.
Right.
I had identified that they have some small calves.
And you're
I had
planning to raid
informed-
them.
I have informed all the Maasai boys of my age
Right.
that by the time we are circumcised, these calves will be
Mature. Yes.
and it is me to come and steal from this family and this one and this one. If you dare try, don't. So, and then in school, I was always number last.
Right.
Number 72 out of 72, because there was quite many
Right.
at Ole Sankok Primary School.
Right.
It was only one time that I became number 71 out of 72. I had even to inform the headmaster, who internally was the age mate of my father, and they were very good friends,
Right.
Tom Sange.
Yeah.
I told him, you see, I have defeated one boy in
Right.
exams. He told me, no, this
Right.
one boy was sick. So you are still number last because you were 71 of you.
Right.
But,
And we actually have seen a picture of you from Ole Sankok.
yeah, that is when
We had
now,
it.
that is
Yeah.
now when I became
And here is
disabled.
You're with your
My
family.
father and my stepmother, because it was the wedding of my stepmother.
Right.
My father was wedding.
This
second
picture
time.
was taken in, I think, June. Is it June 1989?
89.
Right.
Yes,
June
immediately
1989.
after I became disabled.
Right. Tell
Yes.
us about that. So
Now-
you're this carefree boy.
Yeah.
You're active.
I used
you're-
to play football, number
Right.
6. I used to run 100 meters.
Right.
Then one day I became sick.
Right.
So I was taken to hospital at night. It was around midnight.
Right.
So the doctor was a bit asleep. He was waken up around 5 times. The 6th time he woke up. I don't know if he forgotten the injection of human beings and he came with those injection of cows. Because he injected me. But,
Right.
you know, I got healed because I had pneumonia.
Right.
Breathing difficulties. I was even fainting because of high fever. But the fever disappeared. I was okay. But the following day, I tried to run out of bed. You know, I used not to wake up. I ran out
Right.
of bed.
Right.
So I tried to run out of bed. Hey, I could not run. I fall. I tried again, I fall. So I told my mother, I don't know what is happening. So I was taken back to the hospital. The doctor said that I should be massaged with salty water. It was massaged
same
for
doctor? Is it the same doctor?
Yes, 2 weeks. It was not, there was no improvement. In fact, it was becoming worse. So I was taken to Kijabe Mission Hospital. I thank Kijabe Mission Hospital, and in fact, I have gone back there. We have constructed a very big theater, four theater, a block of 4 theaters, and so on, so that at least corrective surgery can be done.
Is
to
it for
children
the
with
cure
disability.
program?
Cure program.
Right.
So I went back there. I was taken there. But the problem is that the doctor there was not, I don't know what happened with him. Because he just, of course, assessed me and then told me, he came with the crutches and told me, my friend, learn to use these ones because you'll use throughout your life. You know, those news, wow.
So now
Yes.
you're in class 6 or 7?
Yeah, class 6,
How old were you at that time?
12 years.
12 years old,
Yes.
class 6 or 7,
Yes.
just as you're
6.
getting into puberty, you're
Yes.
just about to get into teenage.
Yes.
Problem.
Yes, and you know,
How did you feel?
being very naughty,
Yeah.
I had cross lines with other boys. So the moment I became disabled, there was so an opportunity of payback time. I come to school, they ran away with my crutches. You know,
my.
one of them ran with my crutches after preps. He decided let him hide them in the flower bed,
Right.
and then he will bring them back after a few hours.
Right.
So, but he slept. So I sat throughout in classroom. In
My
fact, I was
goodness.
projecting my urine through the window.
My goodness.
Because the guy did not.
You
he
can't
wa-
move.
The guy was awakened up by the bell,
Right.
breakfast bell.
In the-
you know,
the next day?
Yeah, the next day, uji bell. You know, we used to have uji. So It was very difficult for me, especially to accept in the first instant. But I decided, okay, young as I was, it's only the leg. I still have my mouth, I still have my head, my brain, I still have my hands. So why don't I make use of these ones? And automatically I have now to study to use my brain, because boys cannot allow me to go to the field. They will beat me. Now,
before we get there, when we talk to a lot of people who have incurred a disability or a disabling injury after birth, a lot of people usually talk about a lot of psychological trauma, a lot of psychological pain, and a difficulty in engaging with others. What can you say was your own experience, with the exception of the bullying and all that? Did you ever go through the same? And some people even have suicidal thoughts.
Yes, let me tell you, I thank Almighty God, because He gave me a lion heart. Because immediately I told my parents I have accepted. Let me move on. In fact, some of my own father thought that I will commit suicide. I was put under 24-hour surveillance. I was sleeping at the headmaster's office, house. That is Tom Sangi.
Tom Sangi, yes.
Yes, and every time I go to the toilet, a boy must be assigned to accompany me to the toilet, because they thought that I will commit suicide. But no, I had already decided. I've lost my leg, but I have my hands, I have my mouth, I have my brain. Let me use them. And immediately, because of this bullying, now when I go to the field, I had now to start becoming serious in education. And the second term, from number 72 to all the way to number 13, and then number 8, and then number 3, and then number 1. And that is what I became up to when I went to Kericho High School and finished with straight A's. And again, before even I joined university, I had to go to Narok Youth Polytechnic to study carpentry so that I can use my hands. In fact, I'm a qualified carpenter, as we speak now. And my lodge, which is Osim Country Lodge, is entirely made of timber, because I was the foreman. You know, I'm being a carpenter.
You were supervising
I'm supervising the construction. Mostly, I have a house on top of a tree that is built by timber.
The lover's
nest, yes. That when you enter with your wife or girlfriend, you know, mostly girlfriend, I have to remove the ladder so that they don't change their mind, so that they can stay there, so that you can also get the value of your money.
Right. Let me ask you a question. What position or what role did humor play in your ability to deal with what you're doing? Because you're a very humorous man. You're a very funny man.
You know, in this life, you have to laugh. And again, you know, these are the experiences. It's not something that it just comes automatic. And again, I have to use my mouth. Because already I have lost my legs. And even you have very long legs. But I am sure you have not earned using your legs. We know those people who earn using their legs. In Kenya, we can even count them using our fingers of our hands. Because it is Rudisha, Kemboi, Manangoi. You know, there are very few. And Mariga, probably, they are using their legs. The rest of us, the 45 million Kenyans, are using other organs. So if I lost the leg, why do you see me as only disabled? You cannot do anything. You know, we have to learn to use other organs, because there is ability beyond disability.
And that's really powerful there. And I want to take you back a little bit. You've cleared your high school, flying colors. You get admitted to the University of Nairobi.
Medical school.
Medical school.
Yes.
And what were you studying?
Medicine.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's very unique. You're admitted to school, and the average first-year student, the fresher, isn't married, but you are. Tell us about that.
You know, as a person with disability, my friend, lazima ujipange. Because I'm not like you. When I'm seated down, especially those days, I used to be very handsome.
And we can see some of your pictures.
Girls can really admire me. But once I wake up and expose my disability, they all disappear and take cover. So one of them, by the name Helen, who is now Helen Sankok, that time she was Helen Joy, accepted my proposal. So I decided, before she realized this leg is actually permanently disabled. Maybe she may have thought it is a dislocation, you know. So I decided, let me also destabilize her. So I made sure I married her. The first year, 1 kid. Another year, another kid, another kid, another kid. When she had 7 kids, I knew she's written off. She cannot go anywhere else. Now you have to.
On the screen, you can see the lady in question. That is Helen Sankok, a lovely lady, by the way.
Yeah.
There's an interesting story that you need to tell Kenyans. Exactly how you were able to convince her to become your wife. The approach.
The approach. As a person with disability, I'm not like you.
Right.
Because the problem with human beings, they will not see your ability. They don't even care to know. They only see your disability. So if you come walking with crutches, you start even dreaming about a field that people run or football. You don't really say what is in the brain of this man. So people see your disability. So I decided, since many girls have run away from me and whenever I give them proposals, they don't accept me. So for this one, let me have a different approach. So I wrote all my abilities. I'm a qualified carpenter. I'm a medical student in the University of Nairobi. I'm going to study medicine in the University of Nairobi. Right. So these are my abilities. I wrote all my abilities and then told her, okay, read these ones. Once you have read them, she said, oh, wow, you mean you are a qualified carpenter? You mean, yes, you got A's. Yes. And now, what I wanted, now we started from there. And then, of course, the rest is history.
The rest is history indeed. You mentioned about your kids.
Yes.
And fast forward, it's, I think, the year 2000.
Yeah, the first one
you've been elected the chairman of SONU.
Yes, first of all, I used my disability to get votes.
Right.
Sympathy votes from the University of Nairobi. I told them, no, me, Nikiwete, I cannot lead you to strikes. I cannot do whatever. But they elected me. But accidentally, I'm the one who led more strikes than anybody else.
And you were suspended from high school at some point.
In high school because of leading a small strike called Exodus. But in the university now, I was now suspended because of leading a strike. In fact, I was jailed.
Wow.
11 times.
And you were suspended for 15 years.
I was supposed to be suspended for 15 years, but I was given amnesty by Kibaki when he came in.
Wow. In 2002.
I was suspended in 2003.
When you came back.
But in 2003
is
when I was given amnesty by the former president, Muyakane.
But something happened, something amazing happened in 2000. In fact, on the day you were sworn in as SONU chairman.
Now,
tell me what happened.
No, on the day of being sworn in as a SONU chairman, that is on 9th June 2000.
Right.
Was the same day that my daughter was born. While I was raising the Bible saying, I, David Ole Sankok, my wife was being told in Kijabe Mission Hospital, skuma. She was pushing. Push. She was giving birth. So my daughter was born the same day that I was sworn in. And that is why she is called Naserian. Of course, some guys wanted to call her Sonu. But I didn't like that name because it sounds a bit like a very dangerous chemical.
Right.
With a pungent smell.
What does that mean?
It means blessings.
Blessings.
So she was actually a blessing to me, and she's actually up to now a blessing to me because she's in the university studying electrical and communication engineering in Multimedia University. She scored an A-.
This girl made you proud.
Yes.
Scored an A-.
Yes.
You bought her a car.
Yes, because...
And it was around the time you were just about to get sworn in for a second time, this time as a member of parliament.
Yes. But the value
this many years down the line.
Yes, the value of the gift does not matter. It is the love that we attach to that particular gift. Remember, her mother, I bought her an ice cream of 2 shillings.
When you were
and an oversized shirt.
Right.
Because this lady was a msichana wa kijiji. Hakujua tofauti ya shati na blouse.
By the way, just pause there. We have these pictures, good people. We have these pictures. My director Mugo is showing. You see that shirt?
Yeah. Now you see even the hands are not seen.
Yeah, the shirt is too big.
The shirt was too big because it was an oversized shirt.
You're responsible for that.
And then she did not know. I told her now.
Over here you went to the museum, I think?
I took her to the museum. Now I had gotten some little cash.
What about there?
There we were in my first clinic, I opened a clinic while I was still a student.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
So that why.
Umetoka mbali.
Yeah, bwana. Ni Mwenyezi Mungu.
Right.
So now the girl is studying in Multimedia University.
And she's your firstborn?
She's my firstborn.
But you have
7 kids.
7 kids.
I told you, ni kujipanga. So that I made sure she's destabilized. Because
your wife? Yes,
because once she have a kid the first year, the second year, another kid, one is crying here, another one on the back, another one she's breastfeeding, she will not go anywhere. She will be so busy with the kids. And
Do you think your wife is proud of you?
Ah, very proud. You see now, she is even...
From those humble beginnings.
Yes, she's even putting on my uniform because of accepting me as her husband and being proud of me. And we are together. We have been together since the days that we were in the university, up to now, 20 years down the lane. Yes, and she's very beautiful. Even, in fact, she's even becoming very beautiful from these photos. More beautiful than...
Wow, look at that.
Yes,
that's amazing.
Yes.
Tell us about the council.
Yes.
How did your relationship with the council begin, and how did you rise to the leadership of this council, and what does that mean to you?
Yes, you know, National Council for Persons with Disability is the only institution.
Why did you enter?
That give persons with disability some leeway and some funds to try and cushion them from the effect of disability. Because as much as we don't want to accept, disability also comes with a lot of challenges. Because you don't buy your legs. For me, I'm like a car. I'll need spare parts. If these crutches break, there was a day that my crutches broke while I was taking care of my father's cows. And it was at around 11. In the evening, the cows went home. They could not say where they have left me. And in our place, where you can take cows north, west, east, or south, then my parents did not know where to look or where to search for me. So they searched for me for 48 hours.
Wow.
I was in the forest for 48 hours, day and night. I crawled for almost 3 kilometers in a rocky environment. My palms and my knees were soaked in blood, you know.
And these are challenges
that come with disability. So I wanted to head this institution where a person with disability called home, so that I can actually share my stories. I may have made it in life, but there are those who are undergoing those challenges day in, day out. So I wanted to air their views and be their advocate, because I am aware of that particular shoe.
You know where it pinches.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question, sir. When you look at the time you began to serve as the head of this organization till present, what sort of impact do you think you've made?
I'm telling you, I'm satisfied. And I owe everything to the head of state, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Because not once have I run to State House, explain our issues, that we need this and this and this, ABCD, and he gave me a listening ear. Apart from giving me to head that institution, he also gave me a listening ear, in which we have cushioned persons with disabilities from the challenges of disability. I can tell you that for me, I'm a very happy man. And that is why I retired after serving one term, 3 years. I retired voluntarily at the age of 38. And you know, in Kenya, or even in Africa, people don't want to leave power. You know, being powerful as chairman of a state corporation, brushing shoulders with the most powerful people in this country, having an express entry to State House, people will not want to leave. But for me, I was so satisfied for those 3 years. And let me tell you some of the legacies that I have left. One, it is in my tenure that we decided that Kenya Sign Language will be the 3rd official language in Kenya. And all TV stations have a sign language interpreter. I can see them there.
Yes.
Again, it is in my tenure that we have AGPO, access to government procurement opportunities. It is nowhere in the world that there is access to government procurement opportunities for persons with disability. That whenever tenders are being given out by the government of construction of roads, dams, and everything, then persons with disability have a percentage. Smaller it may be, they have a dedicated percentage. Persons with disability in this country import vehicles duty-free. A V8 of 10 million, a person with disability will import with 5.8 million. We don't pay taxes. If you earn 150,000 Kenya shillings, what you'll see in your bank account is 100,000. But for a person with disability is 150,000. So I'm always, every month, 50,000 richer than you. That means 600,000 in a year.
Right.
What about if I work for 10 years? So there is a lot. It's also in my tenure in which the president gave government directive that persons with disability should be given adaptable exams, because there are persons with disability who write using their mouth. In fact, I went to the president. I told him, write your name. on a piece of paper. He tried writing using his left. I told him, no, there's a child with disability without hands, so use your mouth. So he only managed to write a very big U. So I told him, we need big space and enough time to finish the exam. In case we don't have hands, we write using our legs or our mouth. So for me, if I look back, there's a lot I achieved, and that's why I climbed Mount Kenya when I was retiring, to go and put the flag of persons with disability, National Council for Persons with Disability, on top of Mount Kenya, where there is the flag of Kenya. Munyao placed the flag of Kenya. Because I wanted the state corporations that deal with persons that are presumed to be disabled to be up there.
Right.
Now, any state corporation that want to do more than what I've done, they can go and place their flag on the clouds, because I've already placed on the highest mountain
peak
in Kenya. So now, let me tell you, with all these benefits, with all these benefits, in fact, there was a time I wanted to go to thank God for being nominated as an MP.
Right, and that's what I want to, that's where I'm going right now.
Yes.
What was it that occasioned the shift, right, from advocacy and from leadership, and for you to leave that and come into the murky world of politics, as they call it? Why? What was the reason? What was the motivation?
First of all, I wanted to follow the footsteps of my legend and my hero, that is Nelson Mandela. Just go for one time, retire honorably, leave a legacy, and then again give somebody else with disability an opportunity to lead the institution they call home. Because if I could stay there forever, and then again, I'm now asking for opportunities for persons with disability. Yet myself, I cannot even give them an opportunity in an institution they call home. It will be a double speech. It will be preaching water and drinking wine.
But now, let me tell you, a lot of people are asking, when people look at you and they look at how the transformation you made, and they look at you right now, they're asking themselves, what are the politics of this man? What is the philosophy that drives this man's current position as a member of parliament? What would you tell them?
First of all, I'm there in parliament as a nominated member from the Jubilee Party. So mine is to read the manifesto of Jubilee and preach the manifesto of Jubilee. I'm also represented by Jubilee to represent persons with disability. So mine is to advocate and fight for the rights of persons with disability. And I tell you, with the legacy that I've left, with the benefit that persons with disability are getting, there are even people now who want to pretend to be persons with disability. And long time ago, persons with disability were being hidden. Now, there was even one day a person who came to my office, pretended to be disabled. He is not able to hear. He's deaf.
To get something.
So to import a car of 4 million, because he'll import with 2-point-something million. So we had finished up writing everything and even signing the forms, but he asked me to use my toilet. So he went to the toilet. But I said, because this guy have said he cannot hear, so let me test. So I shouted, "Ooh, there is a snake in the house." So Alifas really forget. Let me tell you, my friend. There is a lot of benefit. In fact, there was another day I went to Prophet Owuor, same crusade, to thank God for having been nominated to parliament. But you know, when they saw me, they saw disability. They told me, okay, mzee, enda huko mbele uombewe mguu ipone. Now nikatoroka kwa sababu if they could have prayed for me, I would have lost my position as a member of parliament. I would have lost my benefit of tax exemption. I've lost my benefit of importing car duty free. Will you have assisted me to pay for the duty of that car that I'm driving?
All right, sir. All right. And on that note, my producer tells me we're entirely out of time. This man is very unique indeed. But I wouldn't want to let you go. Just before we move on to the rest of the news bulletin, I wouldn't want to let you know, to let you go without you unpacking a few questions, just 2 questions for us. First of all, yes or no? Would you be this successful if you were not disabled? Yes or no?
Of course, I will be more successful.
You think so?
Because there is a lot of limitation, that there is a lot of things that I will not want to do. But because of my disability, I'm a bit limited. I will have liked, I'm telling you, my friend, even if I will not have gone to school and I'm not disabled,
you would have been a force to reckon with.
I would have been driving cows from all the way from Narok to integrate it, to sell them, and I will have still made money.
All right.
So
All right, here's another question.
Yes.
If you had to tell someone this, what would you say defines you in one sentence?
The urge to succeed.
The urge to succeed.
And never fail. And personally, I don't give excuses. That is why when you invite me, I come on time. These, excuses are justification of failures. If you find somebody before noon, you have already given several excuses. That is a failure, and his portion in life is poverty, and he will always be poor.
Right.
Because, this issue of I was late because there was jam. You didn't not know that you live in Nairobi where there is jam.
All right, sir. Here's another question. They say that you said indeed that you wanted your wife to gauge you based on what is in your mind.
Yes.
And a big portion of what comes into a person's mind is what they read. So what are you reading right now?
In terms of books?
Yes, please.
I like to read the 48 laws of power, first of all. I read a lot about Nelson Mandela.
Right.
I read a lot about Muammar Gaddafi.
Right.
Because of Pan-Africanism.
All right.
And he was a patriot. He loved his country.
Just like you. Just
love
like
my
you.
country.
All right.
I also read a lot about William Samoei Arap Ruto, my mentor. My political mentor.
I see you have a very strong relationship.
Yeah, because he struggled.
And you call yourself nominee
001.
Yeah.
Nominee 001.
Zawadi ya Kenya?
Mtoto wa Kenya, zawadi ya Mungu.
Zawadi ya Mungu.
Because I know mimi ni gift from God to my parents.
Right.
Because some of my siblings are not disabled.
Right.
But now I'm even assisting those who are. So
my producer will kill me. But final question.
Yes.
In one sentence.
Yes.
This is your camera, the
Yes.
one in front of you, the one with the light on top of it.
Yes.
Right? I want you to look at that,
Yes.
or even this one right here, to
Yes.
my right.
Yes.
I want you to give a piece of advice to a young man, to a young woman somewhere who's watching you, who's disabled or not, and is faced with huge obstacles, and they're wondering if they're going to make it. Talk to them as quickly as you can.
My brother, my sister, try to use any ability that the effect of disability have left in your life. Of course, you may be physically disabled because of lack of legs, but you still have your arms, you still have your brain, you still have your mouth. Try to identify your talent and make use of it. And set your ambition, what we call dreams. It is good to dream, but remember, in every dream, there must be a price to pay for you to realize that dream. Please, let us identify the dream. It's not bad, but remember also, dogs do dream. Let us identify the dream, but also identify the price that must be paid to make that dream come true. I remember when I retired in Kenyatta National Hospital, resigned so that I can go and start a business from scratch.
Right.
People say that I was mentally handicapped.
Right.
Because how can I resign? So there is a price that you have to pay to make your dreams come true.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Thank you so much.
Yes,
as powerful as ever. I'm afraid with you, we never have enough time. But we certainly hope to interact with you.
Yes, my mouth have no speed governor. I can talk the whole day, the whole night.